right, I'm going to take you a quick tutorial through our Unit 2, what you should have in your notebook, and kind of what those things mean in order to prep for your test. So the first thing is on page 21 is where Unit 2 starts. So you should have a little tab like this. For Unit 2, you should have this Properties of Matter sheet. These are the standards that we have, that's in there, and then all these I can statements. So you should be able to do all of these things. Can you explain how matter is classified by its properties? Can you determine the difference in physical and chemical properties and changes? Can you identify the matter as chemical or physical? Can you explain the signs of how to tell if there's been a chemical change? So on and so forth. So you can go down those lists and think about how well you can do each one of those things. That's the first part. And then the second part, because we had a quiz over that, and then we did these I can statements about molecular motion and the phases of matter, kinetic energy of the particles, reading and understand the phase change diagram, and creating a phase change diagram if you were given some information. Could you do that? And then the last part was the gas laws that we just did today in class. So our unit test date, we plan for the 11th. I think we're going to move that to the 12th because we have a lot of people going to be out, so I'm going to put that in here. We're going to do 9, 12, 13, 18. There we go. All right, so on the inside you have all of the vocabulary words, so you can go over those as needed. These are also loaded onto Quizlet, so you can use Quizlet.com, log in with your Google account, and go to, or you can link through Google Classroom, and you can study all of these words that you want to. Remember, you have a vocabulary task that's due the day of the Unit 2 test. So your vocabulary tasks that you get to choose something from is on page 5 of your notebook. So on page 5 right here, way back when the beginning of the year we put this in, and remember, you choose one of these to do for Unit 2. So each one says to choose 10 words and do something. So choose 10, choose 10, choose 10. You only choose one of those tasks, and within that task, so let's say I choose this one. I choose 10 words to make a graphic organizer. So that means from Unit 2 words, all I have to do is I look at all those words back on page 21, and I'm going to choose 10 of those words, and I'm going to make a graphic organizer with 10 of those words. That's what I'm going to do, and that's my vocabulary task. So you don't have to do all the words, but that is our Unit 2 beginnings on page 21 there. So if I flip the page over, we should have on page 22 the classification of matter reading. So we went through here, we talked about what matter was. It's made up of atoms. Matter can be categorized as mixtures or pure substances. Pure substances are elements and compounds because they're the same throughout. Elements can be metals, non-metals, magnetic, not magnetic. So there was some reading, and so right over here we talked about what the difference was of matter and what's not matter. That's how we started out. So this is page 23. So we talked about matter has mass, it takes up space, that means it has volume, it has chemical physical properties. It's divided into two categories, mixtures and pure substances, and then we did some examples. These are some examples of things we would consider matter that have mass and volume. And then we did it here at the bottom, not matter. So these are things that are not matter. Energy is not matter, sound, light, electricity, magnetism, force. There's more, inertia, things like that. So on page 24, you should have the chemical properties. This is chemical properties and changes, and then on the inside we did physical properties and changes. And then what we did with those things, that was page 24. Over here on page 25, we had this that we did in class together. We took the snacks, remember, made a little periodic table on their basic, on their properties. That was page 25. And then we also did a graphic organizer, chemical properties, talking about flammability and reactivity. How flammability means to burn, being reactive or not, how's it going to react with something else. The physical properties over here, these are things that describe the matter without changing it in any way. Physical changes can change in the look or appearance, but it's not going to change the substance itself. And chemical changes can't change back. It turns into something new if it changes color. And some things that we looked at on our lab when we did the chemical changes were things right here. Does it turn cloudy? Does it form a solid? Does the temperature change? All these are signs of chemical reactions. Does the color change? Does it change in smell? Produce a gas that you can't see? So this was part of that, and then we had all of these here as examples that we did together in class. So that's page 25. Page 26, we talked about physical and, or sorry, phases and phase changes. So we have all the particles and what the particles are doing, what talks about how do you know what state of matter something's going to be in, attraction, arrangement, amount of energy. Those are all the physical properties. And then all this is about the particles and the motion, what's happening to the energy there. And we did that with our hands in class. On the inside, it talks about, gives you all the things about solids, liquids, gases, and plasmas. And then another phase change diagram, which we're going over in class actually tomorrow when I'm filming this. And then on the back, we spent a lot of time with these two graphic organizers here, these two charts and diagrams. We did the one on Google Classroom that's on Google Draw that was a virtual poster. And so we did these, and we did the phase changes in between. And remember, between each phase change,